Hi, my lovelies. Okay, so today we have the Emperor as our host. So, this was the bottom card, the first card I saw, and what I was drawn to was these stars. Um, there's lots of hopes and dreams, um, but I'm also um, drawn to this little yellow star, and we know the yellow represents your connection. And the first thing I heard when I saw this star was distance. Um, Spying energy is picking up from the DM, but they're also putting some distance. Um, they're putting distance, but they're also not letting go. Um, for some reason, they're putting a distance, and it could be tied with the whole tower thing. Um, and the nightmares, the fears, and everything. If you had a breakup, that would also explain the distance. Some kind of distance is needed, but they are also putting some distance for whatever reason. Uh, but you are on their mind. It's a very spying energy, and you might be uh, picking up lots of signs because of that. Because their energy is not letting go. They're very um, their energy is very cling to yours, um, very tied up around you, and you could be getting lots of signs like something that's between you two, like a song or I don't know, a smell. Could be the color yellow, could be numbers that are significant. um, could be their name that you're seeing or hearing more often. So in a way, energetically, it's like they're trying to grab your attention, even though they're putting physical distance. Or it might be the universe putting a distance, between you two. Um, but it's like that toy, that you put your fingers in, and the more you pull, the more um, it gets tight around your fingers. It's like that. The more they put a distance, the more their energy is um, tied to you. It's like a push and pull. And there's a very nervous energy around this card. And we have fears around the lion and fears here. Um, there's some nervousness about fears. Um, it's like when you have a fear about something, and then you, I don't know, put, like, for example, if you're driving and you're just thinking about that fear, feeding it, and you're trying not to think about it, and then you turn the volume on the radio, you know try singing or whatever, just to distract your mind off of it. It's that kind of feeling, they're trying to distract themselves, but it's very nervous. Oh my god, there's a spider. Go, dude. Go that way. Thank you. Yeah, there's some nervousness. Just like, so you're in the car, you're trying not to think about the fear, you turn up the volume, but automatically your foot pushes the gas more, so you start speeding, and you don't even notice it. It's that kind of energy, very trying to distract themselves, but doing it very nervously. So there might be some kind of what's the word? What's the word? Oh my god. Impulsive actions. That's the word, impulsive. Just like with that gas pedal, because they're nervous and because they're trying so badly to not think about the fear, they might do something impulsively, or without thinking. Again, just like pressing that gas pedal, you're not even noticing until you check the speed on your panel. This is your energy here with the Temperance. It's very light, it's very angelic, it's very patient, it's very unconditional love, you're learning how to be patient with your own self, and therefore patient with the whole cycle and patient with them. Even if you're sad about this whole situation, you're not sad as you would be before. Before you would be sad and panicky, but now you're more like sad but calm. Does that make sense? It's like you understand the sadness, but you're just calm about it. It's like it has a very calming energy, like somebody put the sedative inside me, like somebody injected the sedative. So now I'm all like, and that's how your energy affects them as well, especially if you're in that unconditional love. It's like a sedative to their soul. That's why their soul can't let go of your soul. It's very healing. It's like a drug, they need it. You already know that their soul is very, for most of them, not for most of them, their soul is caged, and your energy is like water, for that prisoner that doesn't have anything, no food, no water. You're the only thing that's keeping it alive, that's giving them, that's giving their soul hope. So that's why they can't let you go. They can try in the 3D, by thinking distance would help, but it won't. It will just have the opposite effect. They will be drawn to you even more, if they put distance. Now, when I focus on you, I do see strength in you. Even though you might be sad, whenever I'm drawn to these droplets, it reminds me of tears. So even though you might be sad, you know that you are strong enough, that it will pass. You're implementing your lessons, Again, it's very calm energy, even though if you're sad, or disappointed or whatever, whatever sad feeling you're having, you are calm about it, even if you even if your brain is telling you that you need to be upset, your own soul is more prominent than your brain. So even though you think you have to be more upset, you're not. So for some of you it might not have sense, but I mentioned that example in the previous reading, so if you didn't see it, go check it out. Your soul is very prominent at this time, more than your brain, whereas for them it's more a brain and fears, swords. Yours is angel energy. So you are operating from a place of strength, even though, like I said, you might be in pain, but you are finding that strength within you, Now when it comes to them, they might portray themselves in the 3D like they're strong, like they don't care, that they're fine, And if you're seeing them in the 3D and seeing them in that kind of behavior, like they don't care, they're fine, don't focus on that. On the inside, they're very nervous. So don't be sad if you see them, they're fine, they're giggling with friends, having parties or whatnot. Don't be sad about it. It's not what you think. They're just trying to mask it from the outside world. And this is the music part that I mentioned at the beginning. This little mouse is eating away the insides of this snake, of this cobra, their fears and the darkness, if you will, in them is slowly eating them away, you know. So they need to turn up the volume of the music so they can distract themselves from the mouse, you know. I see this cobra like puffing up whenever the fear comes up, just getting more louder and louder, you know. I'm even seeing in my head, like, if they are hearing a song that reminds them of you, it's like they're trying to um, talk over the music, you know, talk louder than the music, just so they don't hear the music, you know. If I don't hear it, then I'm not gonna be concentrated on the DF, you know, that kind of thinking. So they become even more louder and louder, puffing themselves up, you know. But I do think, like, when all is quiet, the night time, I think that's the worst at the time of the day for them. Like, all I'm concentrated is the black background here and here and here. Nighttime, when it's all quiet, when they can't distract themselves, when they're alone with their own thoughts, their own fears and their own demons, that's the worst. So you might have sleepless nights because of it, because of your person. You might have weird dreams. You might be more tired, but I'm seeing more of insomnia than tiredness. You could be having some weird thoughts and weird conversations in your own head because of their fears. It's because you're picking up their fears and their conversations, you know, monologues. So their fears might cling onto your fears and bring your fears up. It might not be the same fears, but the core is the same, you know. Like, for example, abandonment issues. Like, for them, for example, it could be friends rejecting them, you know, so that's their fear. And for you, the abandonment issue could be, I don't know, your dad left when you were 2, you know. So, you know, it's kind of like the same core issue, but it's not the same fear, you know. For them, it could be, you know, friends who can give them opportunities, So they need to puff themselves up, to get those opportunities, to appear better, blah blah blah. And the fears are, what if they find out that I'm not who I am, and for you, um, it could be, um, dad left, so I'm not trusting any man in my life, so it's not the same problem, not the same fear, but it's the same core, so if you have um, the same kind of wound, it's gonna cling on to that, you know it always happens like that. It happened to me a bunch of times. um, that same core worm, it always finds a way onto the other side, to feed off of the same core issue. So if you have a same core um, trauma, problem, issue, it's gonna amplify that inside you. So be careful of that. If something comes up unexpectedly, um, that you haven't thought about it in a long time, it could be because of their energy. So just again, don't put a face on it, don't put their face. Just try to see where that core problem is coming from and try to heal it, because on a soul level they're actually helping you, for you to see and realize what problem is inside you. Trauma, I shouldn't call it a problem, it's not a problem. It's more of a unhealed part. Now you might have some unresolved issues that only communication can fix. There needs to be some kind of open communication because something is off. Either they heard something about you, so they made their own assumptions, their own story, and going with that instead of asking you, or it could be vice versa. It could be also why some of them are putting distance, because they heard something and, they made up stories in their head instead of asking you. This could also be you trying to reach them. Now, some of you might not be able to reach them. And the rest of you might reach them, and you're gonna be, very, very soft, very open, very, expressing your emotions. All I'm focused on is this wing, it's like giving a hand, to the emperor. And all I see here is tears, So it's almost like you're reaching out and telling them, how much they hurt you, or, how much hurt you feel. These two are very connected. You might be very open, but in a calm, mature way, trying to explain to them on a deeper level. And that's okay. That's okay. That's gonna put some kind of seed inside them. They might not react how you would wish them to react. I mean, it is bookending a page, and the Four of Pentacles. They might not react in a mature way like you, and they might hold back, and just pretend. But again, don't be fooled by that. I do see some good, if you have a chance, and if you do talk to them openly. I do see some good karma. Good karma coming your way, but also good energy coming their way from you. So even though the initial reaction might not be the way you wanted it to be, it is gonna make them pause for a second, even if they need to be alone, between four walls, and nobody seeing them, but it is gonna cause a pause in them and to think. Some of them might open a little bit, but I don't see anybody opening all the way. It is the Four of Pentacles. I mean, depends on your person and their maturity level, how much they open, or if they open at all. But I do sense most of them, behaving immaturely. But I like your energy. It's very calming, Even these words that you will or might speak to them, it could be something that you were maybe hesitant to say before, because you were, dealing with your own hurt and all that, anger maybe. But this kind of state, this angelic state, if you will, this unconditional love, being in your heart space, it is gonna give you the strength to express yourself in a calm, mature manner. Also, there needs to be an open conversation for a reconciliation. and you knowing how the energies work, you know, um, and what the other readers are telling you, um, you will get that energy under control. If you feel like it's bringing you down all of a sudden, you know, if, for example, if they feel depressed, you know, deep down inside, uh, of course not showing it in the 3D, um, but you might pick that up, you know, and start feeling, you know, kind of meh and depressed and melancholic or whatever, um, because you know how energies work, you and because you are able to recognize it, you will take control under it pretty quickly. And I do believe it has something to do with the new cycle, the new level that you're on. So if you were mature before, it's like you're super mature now. You know? I do believe you're trusting the universe more and more. There's lots of trust here. Just like the angel itself, you know, it doesn't question the God's commands or whatever. It just does what it's supposed to do, you know, what it's guided to do. Okay, which deck should I use? Let's use the witches. We didn't use the witches for a long time. Okay, tell me about the King of Wands. Page of Wands. And there's that immaturity. What did I say about them getting louder? Talking over the music? What's he's doing? He's yelling. Okay, King of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles, and King of Wands again. They're trying to see you in a practical manner. In to distract themselves from feeling emotions, they're trying to look at you from a practical point. They're trying to make sense. They're trying to convince themselves. Their brain and their ego is trying to convince them, you know, that trying to convince them of practical things, you know, practical reasons why they shouldn't open up, why they should put some distance, why they should pretend. Because the soul doesn't need any reasons, you know. It feels and it does. It does things out of feeling them, you know. And they're trying to make some practical excuses, you know. Well, you have kids, so we can't date. Oh, you're coming from a different family, so we can't date. Oh, you're a different religion, so we can't date. You know, all those kind of nonsense. Oh, I'm married, so we can't talk. You know, we can't be friends. Oh, I'm doing just fine. You're the one that's clingy. You're the one that's in love with me. You're always talking about emotions. I'm not an emotional guy or girl. You know, just trying to make any excuse. And again, you know, pretending I'm fine, I'm beautiful, I'm the catch. You know, on the inside, they feel like they need to bow before you, but on the outside, they're like, oh no, you need to bow before me. I'm the king. I'm the better king. You're not. I mean, it's kind of petty, you know. It's like, look at me. I have the bigger staff. Yours is tiny. You know. Oh, you have that pentacle. I have lions. You know, I'm better. But all they're trying to do is convince themselves, you know, that they're actually not feeling anything. You know. They're trying to put it's almost like they're trying to put some kind of barriers around their emotions, and it's all because of fears. But at night, you know, all those emotions come out to play, and they can't hide it. It's keeping them up at night, and like I said, shouting, you know, I'm fine, look at me, I'm the catch. And it all comes from the household. They were taught to be like that from a very young age, but it's not something new that we don't already know. They could also be pretending especially the men, they could be pretending like they're single, but they're actually married, you know. um, they could come off as being flirty with other people even though they're married. They're very immature in their marriage as well. I mean, the whole marriage is immature. Also, if the universe is making this distance, it's because you're not compatible at the moment. There's a pretty huge gap for some reason. And it probably has to do with the fact that you're on a much higher level and they are, repeating the class. Like these two kings, they don't go together. This is a very fair king. He has his kingdom and his people under control, and everybody likes them. He respects their people and the people respect them. He's more like a father, father figure to his people. Father of the nation, His kingdom is very calm and prosperous, It's very fairy-like, but it's also grounding, And this one has like 3 people under him, and he calls himself the king, He's pretending like he has the whole kingdom, but in essence he has like 3 people under him, Just pretending to be more than he is, That's why these two don't go together. So that just by that example you can see how much of a gap there is between these two. Like he has thousands and thousands of people in his kingdom, and he doesn't brag about it. Nobody knows how big his kingdom is, And this dude has 3 people under him, and he's pretending like he's the ruler of the whole planet, That's why this king wouldn't give a flying fuck about this one. And this one would be all in his ear, How big he is, how strong he is, how much of a leader he is. So just by that comparison, you can see how big of a gap there is. And okay, the bottom cards. So Page of Wands, 5 of Pentacles, Page of Cups, 2 of Cups, and 4 of Wands. Everybody here is in the cold. Everybody's in the cold. Now you don't have to be in the cold. I think for you it's more of that sadness. You might be feeling that distance or that gap in the energies at the moment. So that's kind of leaving you somewhat in the cold, But they are putting themselves in the cold. And this is a card of a contract. So it's almost like it's telling me that the contract is kind of bare, And by saying that, you are represented as the King of Pentacles. He's holding the pentacle. And here are all the pentacles. There's no wands. So that tells me most of the work is you. You did most of the work. It's only pentacles on this tree. So when it comes to your part in the contract, you did a lot of work. I mean, you can say that these branches are kind of like wands, you know, but every wand on this deck has these flowers, you know. These branches are barren, they don't have any flowers. So even if you're saying yes, there's wands, there's no flowers, you know. So even with that, it feels kind of off, you know. Even the contract between you two at the moment is kind of off. Also could be why this distance is happening, you know. This is also a card of communication. Just like here, there needs to be an open communication. This is also cups. Needs to be an open communication. The emotions that were never spoken, they need to come out somehow. And the best way is through communication. So, yeah. I mean, I guess it could technically happen, you know, energetically, but it is more 3D cards, you know, it's not I feel like it's more 3D communication than energetic. I'm not saying it can't happen, but you know. Okay, tell me about the Ace of Swords. There's also, with this Ace of Swords, I just noticed this one has an infinity sign, and it's fears, you know. Painting a picture with fears instead of talking, you know. So fears having infinity sign here, and there's an infinity sign here. The truth is being it's being, what's the word, it's not being clear because of the fears, you know. It's like murky waters, you know. It's not clean water when you can see the bottom. It's murky, it's very muddy. So it's kind of like you have to dig to get to the bottom of the truth. Okay, Six of Swords. Again, there needs to be a communication, but in a calm manner. For the first time, I'm drawn to these butterflies, dragonflies on the boat. That means transformation. And some of you could be getting a new transformation because of this distance. It could be it's just that the whole, all the events leading to this point, you know, you reaching a new level, a new cycle happening for the both of you, this kind of distance in the energies, all of that could be to move you in a new direction, because there's somebody else. Could be another deep soul or just a soulmate. Yeah, you know, for some of you, this DM was a preparation for another deep soul or your true twin flame, you know. So that might be happening for some of you. But again, I feel this card is very calm. So I do feel like most of you, if you're in this unconditional love, energy, and trust, you are gonna move in that new direction without any complaints, if you will, in a very calm, trusting manner. Okay, Seven of Swords. There's that murky water. Nine of Swords. See, keeping them up at night. And Five of Swords. Yep. See, that's those fears that are around the truth. This is also a card of could be a card of fears, you know. And them trying to beat around the bushes, if you will. They're shooting themselves in the foot, and that's what's keeping them up at night, you know. I did mention that they're not sleeping anyway, because they are being bombarded, you know, by all their fears in the silence of the night, you know, when they don't have anything to distract themselves with. So this snake makes sense, you know, around this sword. They're trying to bend around the truth, you know. Just like I said here, they're trying to portray you as something practical. I know that this kind of behavior again doesn't surprise me, because they are being put back to the beginning. So them repeating stuff from the beginning, it doesn't surprise me. They need to relearn things, you know. That's why you're kind of being pushed to the side. It's almost like it's destined for them to repeat things from the beginning. So if you're being separated, if there's some kind of distance happening, it's just the universe keeping you protected. It's almost like the universe is saying they need to repeat this thing, but I'm removing you so you don't have to uh be in this repetition. It's like you're giving a new speech, to the new class, and they have to do a speech as well, but because they're repeating the class, they just um, they found their old speech, and now they are using their old speech. Try to remember how they were in the beginning when you had that soul recognition, because there is something repeating, some kind of pattern. And I can see that with my person. Her energy feels like in the beginning, like when the first time I saw her and when I recognize her soul. Her energy even went back before she even met me. It's insane. So it even confuses me at some points, but I need to remind myself, as well as I'm reminding you in the readings, you know, why all this is happening. Okay, Six of Swords, Nine of Wands, Page of Pentacles, Two of Wands, and Judgment. And like I said, something is repeating. And it's something to do with their behavior or reactions or, I don't know, words, whatever. Something is repeating. Some kind of behavior and, shooting themselves in the foot. So they are repeating something on their side, but for you, it's your. On the other hand, you're not repeating. You're not repeating things. Even if it's a conversation with them, you're not in the same energy. It's not coming from the same space, if you will, like it did before. Like maybe before, when you would express your feelings, you would do it from an out of anger, you know you hurt me, you asshole, oh my god, out of anger. Or it could be, out of neediness, out of desperation. But this feels like you're just like you're telling it just because you feel like you need to. and you're not expecting anything back. It's just something that you need to let out, because of your own peace. You're basically doing it because of you, not because of them. So that's why it's different energy. I mean, yeah, you might be expecting, for them to react a bit differently and not the usual, but even if they do that, it's not gonna bother you that much as it would before, It's just a sense of calmness around this card, like whatever you're gonna tell them, or whatever you feel like telling them, it's just to bring you a sense of peace, It's like when you hurt your best friend and you sincerely apologize and make them feel better and all that, you automatically feel better yourself, because because you didn't want to hurt your best friend, and because you mended their heart, you're feeling better and all that. So it's that kind of feeling, and I don't feel like it's gonna be spilling your guts, spilling your cups and everything, being all mushy and whatnot. It's from a very wise point of view, speaking of emotions. You hurt me because of this and that, but I also saw my flaws in it. You showed me what I need to work on, so I did, it's that kind of conversation, from a very, very loving stance. Not needy, not selfish, just to give yourself some peace. And you shouldn't worry how they are gonna react. Because you already have clean hands, they hurt you, but you also learned from it, and if they are hurt, it's because because of their own doing. It's not like you purposely hurt them, okay, what else we have? Well, this is you growing from a Page of Pentacles to the King of Pentacles. You've grown so much, and that's what I see in this card. If you are gonna talk about emotions, it's like I said, it's gonna be very, very wise. It's not gonna be from a needy space, from an angry space. It's just beautiful. I don't know how to how else to word it. Mm, well, this is them, going backwards, as I said, instead of going forward, and doing something in your life, you know, they're they're putting a wall. And again, it's that brat type of energy, Oh, it didn't go my way, so now I'm gonna put back my wall, and that's it. Very bratty. Whereas your thinking is, okay, I didn't get what I wanted, what I thought I needed, but I trust the universe because it's not doing anything to punish me. It's because there's something better out there, and somebody on my level and all that, You're coming from that trust, and they're just coming from the point of, well, I didn't get what I wanted, so now I'm gonna put back my wall. See, and again, there's that gap, You're being the wise one, and they are going backwards, Oh my god, what's with the cards? Tell me about the Three of Cups. Just with that thinking, you can see the gap again, You're just trusting, and like, okay, I know how the energies work. Trust the universe, Just this. Again, if you open up in that kind of manner, from a space of unconditional love and not expecting anything back, just doing it for your sake and not for their sake, there is justice. King of Swords. Swords. Oh my god. She holds the sword of truth. He holds the sword of truth. And you see, your sword isn't surrounded by the snake. His sword is clean. Come on, focus. His sword is clean. Her sword is clean. Shiny even. Knight of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords. Now this is a couple who fights. Again, be the higher person here, because some of them might pick a fight and be very, very cold. Like, all I feel from this card is coldness. you might be speaking your truth, you know, because of yourself, not because of them. But they might be very cold to it. And again, they're shooting themselves in the foot. So don't be worried so much about their reaction. Like I said, the justice here is for you. And it was something long long needed, long awaited. You had to go through a whole journey, you know, slowly, to get to this point. To get to this point, to open up maturely from a right space. And that's why good karma will come your way. This one is bookending this one, so you know, if they do act cold, or you know, like they're not interested of hearing what you have to say, they're shooting themselves in the foot, you know. So if you do open up, just make sure that you're in the right heart space and right mental space. Or even if it's through text, you know, it doesn't have to be one-on-one. No, because these two are bookending. I see, because of this card, I see an asshole here when it comes to them. They might for them it's gonna be truth, but if they say something, you know, if they say something back or whatever, it's from a point of assholeness, you know. Just like this dude. They could be exaggerating things. How I feel it is, whatever they say, it's not how they feel inside. It's all fluff and making themselves look better. It's almost like it's a competition for them, you know. That's the word I was looking for. So if you say, you know, I was hurt, then they'll be like, I was hurt 10 times more, 100 times more. You know, I risked my marriage because of you. Having, a conversation last time. I risked everything. Just going overboard. Like they didn't risk anything. They left the house, they came and see you, had a conversation or a fight, came back, and that's it. Nobody even asked them any questions. But telling you, it's like, I risked everything. I could have died that day. That kind of thing. It's very dramatic. And it's almost like a competition. If it was bad for you, it was worse for them. Anyway, okay, let's see the card. Wait, it's almost, we have a repeat ones. Justice, Page of Cups, Page of Pentacles, Two of Wands, and Judgment. Well, I would say you're getting justice either way. Even those who are not in who are not able to talk to their DM, it could just be in your soul, that conversation, being open with yourself, and being open about this whole connection, and admitting that they hurt you, or that you feel disappointed, or whatever. It's almost like like having a conversation with the universe, where the universe is like a therapist. But even that kind of talk, because you're connected, it reaches them as well. So whatever it is, being energetically or physically, there is justice for you. Something that's going to be brought up, even for you, and you're going to deal with it. You're going to be honest. So in that sense, it's justice for you. Oh, like I mentioned before with the Six of Swords, that you might be on a new path. You could meet that other soulmate. So that's that, a whole new world, a whole new path. And this is a card that represents new love, amongst other things. And it's gonna help you to grow even more. And it was always destined that way. Even though this card isn't the card of destiny, but I do feel some kind of destiny in this card. Like it was always destined for you to move past something. some kind of lesson that you're implementing. It was always destined to go past it, to pass the test, you know. It was always destined for you to pass that test. Interesting. Now, like I said, they are repeating stuff as well, and they're gonna be judged. When I'm in their energy, she feels like Judge Judy, They're gonna be judged. She's not gonna be merciful, She's gonna be fair though. And they need to reflect upon many, many things. That's why they are repeating things. Because they didn't reflect on them properly. Okay, tell me about the Four of Cups. It's always destined for you to reach this point when you let go of something or someone. I feel like a huge burden that you carried around. It's all in this little card. Something that you were dragging, if you will. But you needed to reach this point, this new cycle, if you will, to be able to release it. Page of Swords. A repeat card. It's just disappointing energy. King of Swords, Five of Cups, Six of Cups. Because of your energy, because you're on this new cycle, I feel like some of them want to tag along on your victories, if that makes sense. Like I feel this night coming to you and being like, oh, you know what, you're in a higher class, I'm still in the 4th grade and you're in the 5th grade. Can you put a good word for the teacher, so I can go with you to your class. It's that kind of energy, you did all the work and you deserve to be in that class. They just want to tag along because they know you, like they want to put their name as well, you know, on your achievements. Again, this is the card of past. Again, I'm getting that sense of repeating the past. And this is a night that, you know, as quickly as they come in, they quickly go out, you know, in and out, in and out. But because you're on a much higher level, you're not gonna be that gullible, you know. So because of that, you're not gonna allow yourself, you know, to be in the Five of Cups. If anything, they will. And if you see the book endings, like this knight is charging towards the King of Pentacles, you know. And I also feel blame shifting in this as well. It's like this knight was sent by this king because this one didn't listen to his, you know, yammering, and now this knight is like coming for him, you know. You were rude to my king, to my master. You betrayed him, blah blah blah, you know. And this dude was told lies by this king, you know. This poor dude doesn't even know that he's fighting on the wrong side, you know, for the wrong person. But just as you're not impressed with this king, you're not gonna be impressed with this knight either. I feel like the guards are gonna stop him before he even reaches you, you know. So in that sense, the guards are your own inner wisdom, you know, the lessons that you learned. But I said you're not gonna be that gullible, you know. If they try to repeat, you know, and come in all swordsy. Some of them think like they can play the same game again, but you're like, are you serious? Like I'm not playing this game anymore. What the fuck? And again, if you are feeling a little bit sad, it's just that you're disappointed, you know. I mean, it's the same thing when I think about my person. Like, I'm not disappointed that she never talked to me, or that there's nothing in the 3D like friendship or, you know, anything romantic. Um, I'm not disappointed with that. I'm just disappointed how she didn't use this connection to grow and to learn and to better her life, you know. That's where my disappointment comes from. It's not even connected to me personally, you know. Ooh, Empress. Okay. Page of Swords, Empress, Four of Swords, Two of Pentacles, and the Five of Pentacles again. Yeah, again, they're leaving themselves in the cold. Being so immature, you know, spying, yet telling you to go away, you know. And you're just sitting there. You're not doing anything. You know, you're just sitting there doing nothing, and they're like, oh, you're too clingy, we need some distance, you know. Where in fact they are the ones that are clingy, you know. So they leave themselves out in the cold. You're not this is also an exchange. Could be like a physical exchange, could be an energetic exchange. You're not giving into it anymore. You're healing from it. That energy that you were giving to them this whole time, you're gonna give it to yourself. You're gonna put that energy into your own healing and growth. You're just tired of this exchange that's not giving, if you will. So you're giving all your energy, all your focus, all your nurturing aspect, or all your love. You're giving it all to yourself and to the ones that are deserving of it, you know. And when it comes to them, again, I see that assholeness in this card. Always being, you know, wishy-washy towards you. Back and forth, not giving the same exchange that you're giving. Again, not giving, you know, the card of inaction. You know, they want to have the cake and eat it too. That's what I hear from this card. But you're putting a stop to that. And because you're putting a stop to that, you know, and you're not giving anymore, you know, energetically, emotionally, whatever, that's when they usually come in charging, you know, because they feel some kind of disturbance in the force. And again, we see here past behavior. Pretending to be somebody they're not leaves them empty. It leaves them empty. It leaves any soul empty, you know, when you are pretending to be somebody you're not. When you're not living from your soul, it leaves you empty. And when it comes to them, you know, slow to change, then it's getting them nowhere, you know. Again, sleepless nights. Such pettiness from their side. Anyway, that's your reading. Don't worry about their side. They obviously need to repeat some things, you know, because they didn't learn. But don't let that affect you and your growth. Don't be sitting there in 5th class and, you know, crying because they're back in the 4th class. It's fine. You will have the opportunity to grow even more. Again, new class. You're gonna have the opportunity to grow even more. So even if there is some kind of distance between you two, it's good for your growth as much as it's good for their growth. They need to repeat things. Just like when you don't pass a test in school, you repeat the test, you know. They need to repeat their lessons, and you are getting new lessons. You're getting the opportunity to grow even more, whether it's with them or with somebody else. Or alone, you know, in the meantime. And even if you're alone, you won't be alone forever, you know. Somebody will come, or them. So yeah, that's your reading. Like, share, subscribe, comment. There's a PayPal link in the description box if you want to help support the channel. Make sure you click at least the like button, you know. It helps the YouTube statistics, you know, to put me out there in the recommended, you know, so other people can find me. And yeah, that's your read. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.